Hello there, everybody. It's your girl, Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ, and you're back for another episode of NIKKI BANZ Live. Hello, everybody. This is incredibly exciting. I cannot wait to see all of your beautiful smiling faces in the chat box, in the comments. But I'm taking a look and it looks like once again, I have no chat feature and I have no idea what is going on and why Instagram doesn't want me to have a chat box. But it's fine. It's all good. We're here. It's gonna be 3 weeks in a row with no chat box, and somebody needs to holler at Instagram and tell them what has happened to my chat box, like all the comments, all the amazing things. Like last week with Tehran, this amazing Black and Persian comedian coming to us straight from LA. No chat box, no comments, and I know that the comments were like blowing up during his interview. The week before that, we had CJ Dumeni from Windhoek, Namibia, the amazing tech entrepreneur who started the first ever food delivery app in Namibia. Couldn't see those comments either. And so now, once again, it looks like I just, can't see comments. Maybe I'm just like totally doomed, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I actually full on deleted Instagram from my phone and then re-downloaded it in the hopes that like my chats would finally pop up. But clearly that's just not going to be the case. So please comment, please comment. Please put things in the chat box. It's great for analytics. It's great for engagement, but I just won't be able to see it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, everybody, you are here for NIKKI BANZ Live. Every single Tuesday, I am bringing you amazing interviews with even more amazing people from all over the world. Actors, entertainers, entrepreneurs, authors, activists, artists, all sorts of incredible people across the world. I'm bringing them to you here live so we can chat about their lives, their passions, their successes, the challenges that they've overcome, so that we can just have this dynamic talk show, this dynamic live interview experience where all of us here can get to just learn from one another and learn from these amazingly, wildly successful people all over the world. And tonight's guest is none other than Jillian JJ Simmons, and I know that this interview today is going to be nothing short of sensational sisterhood. So welcome one, welcome all. It's your girl NIKKI BANZ, and you are here for NIKKI BANZ Live. Without any further ado, I know that our guest of the hour is here. She is ready to rock and roll. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. Even without the chat box, we're still gonna have a great conversation, y'all. All right, so let's bring JJ on right now. I'm going to add her just now. Let me give y'all my classic, sound effects, my little drum roll. All right.
We need to write a letter to IG. What's up with your chat box?
What is up with my chat box? I don't know, JJ. Like what is going on? I don't know.
That is so strange, but that's okay. I can read the comments if you need me to tell you. I see the chat.
Okay, amazing. I'm so glad that you can see it. Sometimes Instagram pilots these new things. I'm like, is this a new thing? I hope not. We love the chats on the live.
I know.
That's the whole point of the live.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, JJ, what a treat. You look fantastic. I'm so excited to see you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here. So what time is it where you are? It's nighttime?
It is 8 p.m. here in Cape Town,
okay.
South Africa.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I'm just kicking off my day. It's 12 o'clock here, so.
Yes. Okay, and JJ, you are in Houston, correct?
Yes, H-Town.
H-Town. Okay, well, since I know you're in Houston, let me just take one moment. I know that the city of Houston is absolutely reeling right now, and I know it's been a really, really tough month for Houston with all the tragedy that happened at Astroworld. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out and say all my thoughts, all my prayers, blessings, love is going to the families of all of those affected at the Astroworld concert. Houston is a place that's very near and dear to my heart as well. My parents are in Houston right now. So to just hear about people dying at this concert and all the people who were injured, it's just so devastating. So just sending lots of love to Houston and everybody in Houston right now, including you, JJ. So just had to do that little shout out real quick.
Yes. so grateful for that. Thank you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, JJ, it's such an incredible treat and pleasure to have you here. So I always like to start the show by kind of saying like how I have the connection to the different guests who come on the show. And so
Yes.
we were connected, through some mutual friends through the links, the
Yes.
links chapter in Houston, and they connected us via WhatsApp and email. We had a little Zoom call a little while back, and now we're on
Yes.
the live.
Yes. And it's so crazy how, just something so small as a WhatsApp connection could lead to who knows what, right? And so I think that's so dope.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. No, this is like absolutely tremendous. So I know that you are like just superwoman, right? Like you do it all, JJ. You are an entrepreneur. You are an author. You are a life coach. You are a mother. Like you have a whole foundation. It's just amazing. But I want to start like, let's take it back. Way back. Let's go back to the beginning, right? Your nickname, your moniker is JJ on the mic. Okay, so
Yeah.
talk to us about how you got that nickname. How did you get that nickname JJ on the mic? And talk to us about how you became this on-air sensation.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually started in radio when I was 16. So I was interning at, well, let me say this first. I worked at a rock station. So the high school that I went to had a rock station. Okay. So like we were playing like heavy metal, like it was just like it was not me at all, but it was like, what are you gonna like what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I needed the experience, so I did that. So while I was in high school, I interned at a radio station called U92, which was the hip hop and urban radio station in the city. And I got a part-time job there. I was terrible, okay? Like tragic. And I need people to know this because I think people think like automatically when you get this job you've always wanted, like you just go in there and kill it. I wasn't killing it. I was
Oh no.
really bad. I was really bad. But my name at the time, before I was married, my last name was Jennings. So Jillian Jennings is JJ. And JJ's been on the mic my whole entire life, whether it's speaking or radio, that's been, or television. I've always been behind a microphone. And so that's where JJ on the mic comes from.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love that. I had no idea at all. Okay, I see the connection now. We got the two J's, JJ on the mic here with us.
I was like, there's no need to change it to like JS. That doesn't like really, pop.
Yeah.
So I just kept
JJ is very catchy. Very, very catchy. Okay, so tell me more about, after you had, this introductory gig at the rock station, and then you graduated onto the hip hop station. How did your career in radio and live speaking launch from there?
Oh yeah, so gosh, I've worked in other cities. I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, which is my hometown after going to school, and I decided that I wanted to move to New York City and make my dream come true. So I had this whole vision, like, I'm going to move to New York and it's going to be amazing. And so many people were like, don't do it. Like, just, you don't want to do that because it's so hard to get on the radio in the number one market in the country. And I was like, I just didn't even think otherwise. Like, when you have a vision and it's so clear, no matter who comes with whatever, like the dream crushers, like I was just like, no, I'm going to be on the radio in New York City. Like I'm positive of that. And so I went to New York. I hustled and hustled. I was working at the Mac counter at Macy's doing makeup, and for like 3 months harassing the program director at the radio station because out of 288 stations, I only applied to one because I wanted to work at the station. Oh yeah, like when my vision was so clear. And so I bothered them every day for 3 months, and then finally they were like, please get in here, you can start on the weekend. And that was where my career pretty much flourished. Once you do radio in New York City, is where do you go from there, right? And so the only reason why I left New York is because of 9/11. I was scared out of my mind. The most traumatic experience ever. And I was like, yeah, let me get my butt back home so I can be close to my family. And
Okay. Wow.
I've worked in Atlanta, Indianapolis, of course, Houston, here at 97.9 The Box. And it's just been incredible. And so, you know, through speaking at schools, I used to speak at a lot of graduations. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, like, I like this speaking thing. Like, I'm good at this, right? And people would tell me,
you are.
gosh. So I decided, you know, to do this professionally, and I just absolutely love it. It's so fulfilling.
Wow. Wow. Well, I can even just tell in this interview right now here on Instagram Live that you are like destined to speak to the masses.
Aww,
You know, just like,
thank you.
seriously. It really is at least something that I've been learning since doing this live show, which I launched, you know, in the last couple months. It is an art, like to be able to speak to people, to connect, to, you know, speak slow enough so that everybody understands and articulate your words,
Yes.
you know, and be relatable, be up on, you know, current events and things. Like I can just,
Yes.
you know, you have that star power.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. And I love it. I love being able to still be who I am though, right? Like, I think there are so many people who say, like, I want to be a speaker, or, you know, and many people have stories to tell. But the honest to God truth is, sometimes our stories aren't meant to be spoken, not by everyone. Sometimes our gifts are writing. Sometimes our gifts are poetry. Sometimes, you know, there's so many ways that we can speak and express ourselves. God has blessed me with a voice. And at a young age, and this is all I know is to talk. I'm a jabberjaws. Like, I could look, we might be here till 4 o'clock. Like, but I love to speak, but I love more that I can speak and be who I am.
And I think what's so sort of beautiful about that is that, you know, you're able to keep that authenticity, keep that integrity, you know, of who you are, and then use that to connect with so many people, not only in Houston or New York or wherever you're speaking or on the radio, but just all over the world.
Yes.
And like, and I think that comes through quite strongly in all these different, you know, sort of things that you do, right? So it's not just like you on the radio and these mass speaking engagements, you know, for hundreds of people or for thousands of people. You also do like one-on-one sessions and life coaching, you know, for people. So what was that transition into becoming a life coach, into becoming a self-love, self-care coach? And like, is it different for you speaking, you know, to the masses versus kind of engaging one-on-one with individuals?
Oh yeah, it is. It really is. And I love both, but I will be totally honest. I am most comfortable on a stage in front of 100,000 people than I am one-on-one with somebody. Just, I don't know if it's the intimacy of it or what, but I don't know. It's so weird. But I got into coaching. I was coming out of this very toxic relationship. I came public about it, and so many people were DMing me about it. Like, yeah, me too. I've gone through that too. Yes, depression. Yes, suicidal thoughts. Yes, you know, being in a toxic relationship, not understanding what it is. Oh, I've dated a narcissist too. And as time went on, I kind of took people on my healing journey. And so after a couple of years, where I'm feeling really good and people are still reaching out to me like, I need help. You know, how did you do it? And I said, oh, shoot, like there's a need here. So let me go get certified so I know what the heck I'm doing. And I ain't just sitting up having these like, girl, yeah, let me tell you, you know, like really able to help some people. And that's how I got into coaching. And so it's great because I can empathize with the people that I'm engaging with, right? And still be able to give them the tools that they need to really heal. And it's been a beautiful experience just to see some of the women that I've coached and to watch them grow. Because at the end of the day, we end up in toxic relationships because of our lack of self-love. Because if we really, truly loved ourselves if we really truly were aware, self-aware, we wouldn't even get into these relationships. Like the minute that you see something like a red flag, you're like, oh no, I don't have time for that. We're not gonna do that. But we aren't. We're just like, I mean, this is everybody, right? We're all healing from things. And I think doing the self-love coaching is just a way for people to identify the lack of self-love. So I can say, well, you know, when you did this, do you think that this comes from low self-esteem or maybe a lack of self-love? Like, I'm asking the question so that they can see, like, oh yeah, this is about me. It's not about the other person.
And this idea of self-love and self-care, I mean, it's you know, it's unfortunate that so many women have to go through a really traumatic or hectic kind of relationship experience to get to that point. And you've been able to lend your voice and come out publicly, not just sort of, you know, like on a mic, you know, which is what you're so known for and so famous for, but also through your book, right?
Yes.
Without bruises.
Yes.
So I haven't had the chance to read the book yet. I got to figure out a way to get it here in South Africa. Amazon.
Yeah. I can bring it to you. Come bring it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll be in the U.S. next year, or you can just come visit, you know, and we'll just make that happen. But I want to hear a little bit more about this book and you know, what it was like for you to dive so deeply emotionally and then share that with the whole entire world and just put it out there, you know, for everyone to see and to read and to hear about.
Yeah. So this book, it means the world to me. I've grown actually so much since I've written the book. I would love to go back and add to it or do a second edition, I guess.
Okay.
I'm serious because I'm just like, I've grown so much that I wrote that book. The experience happened 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago now. And so I'm just a different person, right? But when I wrote the book, once again, it was about a very toxic relationship that I was in. I did not know at this time what emotional and a mental abuse was. I'd never even heard the term. All I knew about abuse was that it was physical. And so, and I mentioned this in my book, I'm talking to my dad one day, I'm sitting in his kitchen and my dad says, everything you're talking to me about, you've been dating a sociopath. And I'm like, what? He's like, baby girl, you need to get help. And I'm like, Daddy, he needs help. I don't need help because I'm good. And
right.
And when I tell you, Nikki, I saw my dad cry for the first time ever. And that moment, he could see something I could not see. And so he wanted me to go to therapy. He's like, baby, I need you to go to therapy. He said, do like a group session. I was like, people gonna be in my business? I can't, like, I'm on the radio and TV and nah. And he said, so funny. He said, Jillian, you put all your business on Facebook anyway, so why can't you go to see some therapy? Okay. So I ended up going, right, you know, I was like, okay, good point. So I went to therapy. My dad went with me my first session for therapy, God rest his soul. And it opened up my whole world. And I learned so much about me, my relationships from the past, my relationship with my mother, and how I picked the men in my life because of the relationships that I've had with my mom. And it was so deep. So anyway, I wrote the book because I just had this huge aha moment, like, well, what if other women are going through the same thing? They don't know that they're in abusive relationships, or they've come out of it and they don't know why it's so hard to heal. What if they also are scared to go to therapy and they want to know like what the experience is? So I put it all into a book. It's Without Bruises, A Journey to Hope, Help, and Healing. It's a very easy read. I wrote it so that young people could read it. I do a lot of work with high schoolers. I want them to be able to get through this book. And it's a lifetime movie. Like, you probably gonna need some tissues. You might need some.
Okay. I'm about to go grab some.
You might need some, but It's the book. I mean, the book. It's available on Amazon, but I also did an audio version because I talk for a living, so I might as well do the audio version. So you could go to Audible and download the book on Audible too, so you can listen to it, and you probably get a real version of what is taking place when you hear me actually reading the words.
Wow, wow. JJ, this vulnerability that you're speaking to and your ability to listen to your dad, to listen to others in your life who were saying, you know, go to therapy, talk about this, like figure out, you know, these issues and think about the toxicity in your relationship. That it takes so much bravery. It takes so much courage to do that. And like you said, especially for someone like you who's in the public eye, who's in the limelight, to then say like, this is this thing that I'm struggling with and this is what I'm dealing with. I think that's one of the things that makes it so much more, you know, powerful and relatable when you tell your story and when you share that story, because then we're like, wow, you know, these superstars who we hear on the radio, who we see on TV, like, not that we would ever wish, you know, any kind of negative or toxic relationships on anyone, but we just realize that these are real people who also have real issues and real challenges in their relationships, in their lives.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a real thing. And you know, as much as people are like dogging Will and Jada right now, I just feel like I am appreciative of at least them being transparent enough to share. Whether you agree with them or not, it is what it is. But it does take courage to be able to share a part of your story with the intention of people being able to learn, because this is the only way we will grow, is if people will share and be vulnerable enough to share their mistakes and their, you know, issues and their like real life. Like, because what happens is there are people who are going through the same things who are sitting back like, nobody understands what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to get it. Nobody knows. And it's just like, no, there is somebody who knows. There's somebody who is going through exactly what you're going through. And maybe they're on the other side of that. And maybe they can help you, but they don't know that you need the help because you don't want to talk about it.
Yes. Like, and that transparency is critical. And I wanna tie that into this concept of like sensational sisterhood, which is you know, something that I use to describe this interview. But I just want to give a shout out and a reminder to everybody, even though I can't see y'all in the chat, I can't see y'all signing on, you can drop questions for JJ at the bottom of the screen there. There's like a little thought bubble with a question mark. So for those of you tuning in right now to the Instagram live, you can go ahead and click on that and type some questions for JJ. You know, we're talking about some really thoughtful and really empathetic topics right now. So if you got questions, you wanna chat about some things, please drop them in the question box. Don't type them in the chat because I can't see them. But type them in the question box at the bottom of your screen, and I'll save like 10-15 minutes at the end for you to respond to those, JJ. But this again, this transparency, this vulnerability that you're talking about, it's for me, like I said, I coined it sensational sisterhood, and I know sisterhood is something that's so important to you. It's something that comes through in your coaching work, something that comes through in different sorts of speaking engagements that you have. So what has it been like for you to create safe spaces for women to explore this sisterhood, to explore, you know, open dialogue about their challenges or their successes? Like, what has that journey been like for you? What are some of the like tips and tricks and strategies, like things that we can all kind of take away and then apply to our own friend groups?
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, it's so funny. I have the absolute best group of friends. I have a very small circle of friends, right? But they are so dope. Like, they are just the best people on the planet. Okay. I wish I could share them with everybody, but I can't mine. Okay. No, but they have been so incredible in my life. And, you know, once again, there's that part of being vulnerable that allows you to have a really deep connection with people. And so these are people who we've seen each other go through our most challenging times in life, our most wonderful times in life. And it's just been great to be able to, you know, have just something as simple as a text, you know, group text, you know, like,
Yeah.
Hey, a group text. Like, and I know some people are like, I can't stand group text, but when you got like a really solid group of people, like I could group text with them all day. All right.
It's true.
It's real though, right? You're just like, gosh. And I think the biggest part of that is the accountability that comes with it. I need to be accountable. So I'll hit up my friends. Hey, y'all, what do you think about this? You know, or I'm getting ready to send this message to somebody, you know, like and JJ, check your tone, boo. You know, like they'll bring me back. They'll bring me in. And I love it because and I'm open to it. And I think that's what a solid sisterhood is. You should have a group of people who can keep you accountable, who can love on you, who can celebrate you when you need to be. So my friends celebrate me. Like, it is so crazy. I'm just like, God,
Yes.
you know, they've been there at the toughest moments to support me. They're incredible. But as far as like the speaking and like doing the events where I've done dinner series with women where we recorded the dinner series and just ladies just having a nice meal and just talking about different topics. And I'm getting ready to relaunch it next year, which I'm so excited about. But they allow us to just record these conversations. It's so good. And we do like the gatherings where we had like 60 women come out and just share about them being in abusive relationships and how they were able to overcome. And it's just so live. And I feel like women want this more than ever. Like we want to feel seen. We want to be heard. And we want a safe space where we are not judged. And I think that's what we've created, right? And like, that's what it is. That's what sisterhood it should be. And I don't think you have to know somebody to be able to have that experience with them. We'll find out that we are so much more alike when we actually create the safe space for us to be able to share.
You said so many like buzzwords, JJ, that just have my heart like exploding with love and with empathy, you know, like creating safe spaces for women to come together and discuss their relationships, their issues. The accountability piece is so critical. It's nice to have people who check you every now and then, you know, people who can say like, okay, you need to do this, or okay, you need to switch this slightly. And even like just the concept of the group chat that you mentioned, like I'm like, you know, I can't see the chat. I'm like, everybody put a little emoji in the chat if you have a group chat with your besties, because the reality is, like, those communities allow us to grow, to share our challenges, to share the things that are really like, you know, affecting us. And then we come together like in physical spaces and we have those open dialogues, we have those conversations, whether it's with our tight-knit group of women or people, or in the broader group, you know, it's like you start to connect and hear different perspectives and hear stories. And just like you said, we're so much more alike than we would think.
Yeah, it's so real. And I love it. I would encourage people, like, you know, I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I am an introvert to the core. I would much rather be at home watching Netflix than being at a party or at the club or something like that. Like, that's just who I am. But if I hear that there's an event that there's going to be like a real, like a place where women can just talk and share, I will absolutely go. I have met so many incredible women just by showing up in a place that I would normally be uncomfortable and just listening. And you're like, man, like you create some serious bonds like that. So I don't know. I mean, you know, in Houston, I don't know if where you live it's like this, but there's like a brunch every Saturday, like some brunch every Saturday. Some I honestly believe are just amazing. Like they really are intentional. And I think those types of events that are really powerful, where they want you to leave a different person, those are the events that are worth showing up to so that you can meet some people and really connect.
Oh my gosh, you're inspiring me right now. I'm like, I feel like we need to get some of these events going in Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm telling you, girl, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, come through, JJ. We're ready for you to host for us.
there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it. Have you been to Cape Town before? Have you visited South Africa?
I have never been to Africa. We were supposed to go, shouts out to Remy. I think I see him on here. We were supposed to go
Remy.
to Tunisia in July, but COVID was still running rampant. So hopefully we'll be in Tunisia next summer. But I know Remy is talking about going to Cape Town also next summer. He's teamed up with someone you know. So I'm hoping that they can like put me in their luggage and let me go. I want to go.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, we're so ready to host you. We're ready to host Remy as well. Shout out Remy. And yes. Okay. We're going to make that happen. And I think, you know, a lot of the work that you do too, you know, you do create these safe spaces for women, but a lot of the emphasis and a lot of the women that come to your sessions and these different things, your coaching stuff, these are women of color. And I think, you know, as a woman of color coming to the African continent and being here and experiencing what it's like to be immersed in a whole bunch of people who look like you is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. How long have you been there?
I've been here, so I've been in South Africa for 8 years now. So it's been like quite a while, almost a decade.
Yeah. That's like home. That's home for real.
Yes. Like, I'm trying to buy like an apartment here next year. Cape Town truly is home. And I've been truly just so blessed to be able to have traveled, not just here in South Africa, but across the African continent as a whole, places like Nigeria and Ghana and Cameroon. And in each of these places, I learn new things from these incredible people. I just sort of get so inspired by the culture, by the diaspora, by people just who are doing amazing things, and who have, you know, who demonstrate sisterhood in very unique and different ways than what we would know, you know, in the United States. And it's really cool. So we're ready. You can come in the suitcase. We're ready for you.
It sounds like when I come, I'm not gonna want to leave though. Like the way we're talking, I'm like, now you've been there.
I mean, if I'm any, you know, example, I'm sure my mom and dad are on the line, right? I'm like, sorry, Mom, sorry, Dad, I'm not coming back.
See? All right, I have to be ready. I have to take a lot of clothes with me then. I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to talk about, you talked about the work that you're doing, you know, with groups of women and these circles of sisterhood and safe spaces. But you mentioned this, you know, that also extends not just to adult women, but to teenage girls. And you have this amazing foundation, JJ's I'm Me Foundation, and you do such incredibly inspiring and uplifting and empowering work for teenage girls. So talk to us more about the foundation, the types of girls that you work with, the types of like programs and content that you have. And then also like tell folks, like, how can folks get involved and support?
Yeah, we need people to get involved for real. Okay, so starting the foundation when my daughter was younger. She was just coming out of kindergarten. And I realized that as a parent, no matter how much I pour into my daughter, she's going to still be influenced by the kids at school. She's at school all day. And, you know, it just hit me like, oh my gosh, she would come home talking about certain things. I'm like, are y'all watching TMZ at school? Like, how do you know this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like people are talking, you know? And then what if the girls that my daughter is looking up to aren't great role models? And so that is what sparked this idea for the I'm Me Foundation. So I'm Me, of course, is like, I'm me. Like, I am comfortable and confident in who I am. I know that it's okay for me to be myself. And I don't have to compare myself or try to be something that I'm not. So this is what we're really instilling into these girls. But we do empowerment programs for girls. It started off, I did like the best research possible to find a team of 8 women in the city who I felt were really passionate about helping girls, who were also very passionate about their field. And so we put together this program, an 8-week program in after school programs. And so we do robotics. Now listen, my girl Jane that does robotics, it ain't like regular robotics, okay? So girls build robots. Sometimes they design clothes for the robots. Okay.
Okay.
Like they design clothes for the robots. Then they program the robots to dance. And then we have dance competitions between the girls with the robots. Like,
Oh my gosh.
it's on a
What?
whole other level. Okay. So
I'm like, there's levels to this.
it's levels to this. Like, we're not
Oh
doing
my gosh.
anything average. All right. So robotics, we have healthy cooking. We have two amazing Black women chefs who are showing the girls how to cook, how to take mom's leftovers and make something spectacular. It also is helping our girls be able to eat because during the program, they get to take home all the food that they made. We have health and fitness. Tatiana comes out, she gives the girls a workout, but then she's also exposing our girls because we're talking about in the underserved communities, right? Where our girls may not even have heard what quinoa is or, you know, squash or anything.
Wow.
So she's exposing them to different foods. She's helping them to learn how to read the nutritional labels so they know what they're putting in their bodies. We have beauty and style. So our girls know, you know, what to wear, what's cool to wear, what's maybe inappropriate for your age to be wearing at this time. We have etiquette. Our etiquette is like on a whole nother level too, because we're teaching the girls how to represent themselves on social media and understand, hey, what you put out there, it stays out there and people are paying attention. Mental health, financial literacy. I feel like I'm missing something else. Oh, the period doctor has been a part of our program. So she gives the scoop on how to take care of your bodies, learning about your bodies and not being afraid to talk about vagina and, you know,
right.
Gracious. And so
Say loud.
People need to know these things, and our girls are they're having so much fun while they're learning that they don't even know that they're learning because they're just like soaking it in. All of our women are Black women because where we serve are mostly Black girls. And so they also get to see successful women that look like them who come from neighborhoods like theirs and be empowered. Like, oh my gosh, if you can work with robots, then I can work with robots, you know? So it's an incredible program. We've been doing it for 9 years and it has just been so impactful. And I can't wait. Like, my dream is to be able to take this program, like my crew of people, and go around the world to different places and just do like a 2-day big, massive girls conference or something, like the IME Tour conference. I don't know, but
yes,
I think it's coming. I believe that it's coming.
Wow, what a comprehensive and holistic program for these girls. Everything from STEM to sexual and reproductive health to healthy living and wellness and a fitness like it's just, this is just so much. And even ideas of you know, making sure that these girls know what to put on social media, how it stays there forever, like you said. Like, it's just it's the integration of all the things, right? Like the physical body, the emotional body, the intellectual, you know, and emotional body. It's just incredible. And the fact that you're looking to scale to other parts of the world, I'm already like, okay, I got some people who work with girls in Cape Town. We'll definitely sort you out with the Cape Town crew here when you come for the international IME tour.
I'm gonna believe it, and I'm gonna just say it right now that it's gonna happen. Come on, Cape Town, IME Cape Town.
Yes, I'm ready for it. I'm so ready for it. But I just think that's incredible, and it's just like another testament to, you know, the work that you're doing holistically around sisterhood, not just adult women, but teenage girls, and inspiring the next generation and these future generations of young women leaders who are looking to folks like you and your incredible team of amazing, talented, brilliant Black women who are supporting them to come up and thrive. And that's just so incredible that you've created this like really like cyclical and reciprocal like approach for these young girls.
Oh, gosh. It's just so necessary. Like, Nikki, I feel like we always talk about issues like, oh, and look at these girls out here and they're doing this, and it's just like, but I've always learned that if you're going to complain about something, then do something about it. And
Okay.
we talk about it takes a village, and we have made it so cliche to say, well, it takes a village, but really not fully understand what does that mean when we say it takes a village. It means that every single person plays a part in one child, whoever it is. There's a way for us, the work that I do and my team we do together, it's not just me. Like, this is the work anybody can do, right? Like, anybody, whether it's just taking the time to talk to a girl in your neighborhood and just sit down and just listen. These girls want someone to listen. And like the flip side of it is I'm a single mom. So I see from the mother's perspective also, you know, these are moms who may be working 2 jobs and don't have the time. Like, let's just be real about it. And this is non-judgmental, right? Some people really don't have the time. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the knowledge to be able to give their kids what they need all the time. And then we can't put this all on the teachers either. Teacher, I'm a math teacher. I'm here to teach math. So then it's just like, well, where's the community then? Then this is where the community comes in. It takes a village to play a part in changing the lives of these young people. So stop freaking complaining about what you see if you're not going to be a part of the solution. Like, and it doesn't even take that much. You mean to tell me you don't have 2 hours on a Saturday? Like, you you can binge watch all the shows on Netflix, but you don't have an hour a week to sit down with a young girl and just share your testimony, or just ask her, what's going on with you? How are things going? How can I help support you? Like, oh, we're just so full of ourselves. So, I mean, we really are. And it's just like, these are the people who are going to be taking care of us in 10 plus years, you know? Yes. So I want to make sure they got the right mindset. I want to make sure that they are confident and they believe in themselves. I want to make sure that they also know the part that they play in the community, and that even though you're a teenager, you can also contribute to making this world a better place. Like, it's so serious to me. It's like, this is the future. And if we don't get it together and help them, we're going to be jacked up. We're going to be so jacked up.
100%, JJ. And like everything that you're saying, you're just dropping so many bars of knowledge and wisdom on us. But it's like, the thing that's coming to my mind right now is that common sense is not that common. Like everything that you're saying right now, it's like we all know this, right? We all inherently know this, but we need that reminder. We need that reminder that we need to support the next generation. We do have an hour out of our week that we can spare to support or volunteer or donate our time to uplift the next generation, to provide opportunities, you know, in the same way that we were provided opportunities to be the women that we are today. You know, and I love what you said, JJ. Like, don't complain about the problem if you're not willing to be a part of the solution. Like, amen to that, sister. Okay. I'm just like, that, like, you know, I'm telling you, like, every week on this show, every week on NIKKI BANZ Live, there's like one line, you know, that comes and that just like really sticks out. I'm like, that's the one right there. You heard it from JJ, y'all. Don't complain about the problem if you ain't gonna be part of the solution. So I hope y'all all walking away with that right now.
That's right. We might have to put some claps in there so people get it. Like, look.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. No, thank you for the reminder. And it's so critical, you know, because it's like we do need to be reminded of these things. So tell us about, like, how, you know, folks who are on the live right now, folks who are watching the rerun on YouTube later, like, how can folks get involved with your foundation?
Yes. So our website is IME foundation.org. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook, IME Foundation. We are always looking for volunteers as we get ready to go into 2022 and get back into doing in-person events and workshops. We're really going to need more volunteers. this whole entire past year, we just did virtual programming. Well, actually, a year and a half. We've just been virtual. But yeah, we need volunteers. We need mentors. We need girls. Like, if there are girls that you know, in the neighborhood or at schools or your kids' friends, we are definitely wanting girls to reach out. My daughter does our podcast. We just kicked out a podcast. It's so funny. I was like, okay, all right. So she does our podcast. It's so cool. She has some really cool friends from all over the country, and she's been interviewing some of them. They're like famous actresses that are her age, 14 and 15-year-olds, girls that are into STEM. Like, I mean, she has a whole crew of really cool girls. And so, getting girls just to listen to the podcast, it's up on the website. And then spreading the word. I mean, like, let's be real. It's a nonprofit organization. We absolutely always could use $1 or $2. Okay. Like, just being real, that we spend a lot of money. Like, at the end of the year, every year, I'm like, how we gonna make it? So because we spend a lot and we give a lot of incentives just to get our girls to really participate. So at the end of every workshop, we're giving out $100 worth of gift cards. We give out goodie boxes. We mail them to the girls. Whoever participates in the program, they get goodie boxes with T-shirts, water bottles, all kinds of really cool stuff. Yes. And it's like, it is so cool, and they love it, but it costs money. So, like I said, we run off of donations. We don't have any, huge sponsors or anything like that. So that would also be great as well.
I love it. I love it. So everybody who's tuning in, JJ's I'm Me Foundation, if you want to volunteer in person, you want to send financial resources, you want to follow and share on social media, like all the support that we can possibly get to support, these amazing young girls and their future trajectories, because like you said, they are going to be the ones taking care of us in the future. So what I want to do, I know we have about 15 minutes left, about 10, 15 minutes left on the show here. Just a reminder, if you're here on the live stream, that little question box is at the bottom. Feel free to drop some questions in the question box for JJ. I'll make sure to read those questions out for her. And so just drop some questions if you have any. And then maybe just like some of the final questions that I have for you, JJ. I love that you're talking about your daughter. And again, we've talked about all this, all the amazing things that you've done, right? You're an author, you're an entrepreneur, you've got the foundation, the radio and the TV presenting. And then like you mentioned, you're also a single mom, and even just a mom in general. What has it been like for you to, have this tremendous career and explore all these different pathways and avenues, but also have this daughter who complements and contributes to your whole entire life?
I'm tired. No. No. The more you keep saying what I do, I'm like, woo, I'm tired. No, seriously, being a mom has been, it's just the most heartwarming experience in my life. Having a little human, and God got me, because I really thought I was gonna have a boy, and then God was like, nah, you're gonna have a girl. And I was like, oh, you're gonna get me back for all that I've done in my life. And sure enough, she is a mini me. And I'm like, but it's amazing. And one of the reasons why I walked away from my job after being in radio for 26 years was because I've always done middays, which the midday show is from 10 to 2 here in Houston. I think I was on 10 to 3. And so since she was born, I've always been doing middays, even in other markets. And so I never got to do things as small as just have lunch with my daughter. And I was just like, and I mean, she would be, Mommy, can you have lunch with me? Can you have lunch with me? And I'm like, I can't, because I'm working. And so what I would do for years, I would take off one day, which was her birthday, and would have lunch with her one day out the year on her birthday. And I'm like, that is just so unfair. And
Wow.
because of the time frame of my job, and I gotta put food on the table, and you can't hardly get a day off. And so I said, no, like I want to be able to change this. And I was so worn out at doing radio at the time. And so I quit. And being able to just go and have lunch with my daughter and seeing her face just light up when I would show up with Chick-fil-A for lunch, and she's just like, ah! And like, now she's a teenager though, so she don't want me to show my face nowhere, okay? Because now I'm not cool. I was cool then, all right? But I'm not cool.
Yeah.
So now it's like, no, don't come to lunch. Don't even get out the car.
Oh,
so, man, I thought I was so cool, but I guess not. So at that time, it was just the right time, right? To be able to spend the last 4 years doing the things that I could not do. The blessings opened up when I left because I was able to travel. I was able to go to Australia. I was able to go to London. I was able to do the things I could not do if I would have been working on the radio, because you barely get a week off for a whole year. It's just so ridiculous. But I love being able to spend more time with her. Like even now, it's just like, oh, I can go to her basketball games. I don't have to worry about being at, you know, this broadcast or being at a club, or I'm just like, it's just great. And she's an amazing human being. When I think about legacy, I don't think oftentimes we focus enough on the legacy we want to leave for our kids. And the legacy is just the spirit of giving. I want my daughter to be the world's top giver. I just, you know, and she's already there. The passion she has for homeless people. Like I watch my daughter cry sometimes just about homeless people. Like, wow, where are they going when it's cold? Where are they going when it rains? And I'm just like, oh. And so we get together, we do stuff like go get them food and drop off food to the homeless. And I grab her friends. Oh, y'all gonna go too. Because I want y'all to,
yes,
like, you gotta give. And so I know that my daughter will have that spirit of giving. And I can't wait to see her daughter have the spirit of giving. And so if I don't leave her anything else, just knowing that she has the tools to just make change, and I can be a reflection. She can look at me and say, well, my mom does this too. So I don't know any different because it's just what we used to, you know? That just brings me so much joy.
Wow. I'm like, okay, Mom of the Year over here. Beautiful bonds with that young girl of yours.
Yeah. Oh, she's so dope. She's so dope. Now she worked my nerves, and I work her nerves too. Okay, but we love each other. That's what love is. You accept people who they are. All right.
Yes. Exactly. Oh my gosh. I mean, I just think like I'm not a mom myself, but hopefully will be one day. And just, you know, the way that you're speaking about your daughter and this relationship with her is just like, you know, that's goals. That's hashtag goals, as the kids say.
Yeah,
you know, it's the way that you, it's the relationship that you want to have. It's full of love. It's full of, you know, challenging one another, doing things together, building that relationship, but also not just doing things together, but also serving the broader community in the world writ large.
And being transparent, like going back to the whole transparency thing, like we, especially in our community, right? We have learned you don't talk about things. Like you just brush things under the rug. You don't have these conversations. She and I have those uncomfortable conversations. I have to have my daughter, you know, you want your kids to learn from your mistakes. But if they don't know about the mistakes, then how do they learn? And it's like, we have conversations. Like we have our Thursday nights where we sit down and we talk about stuff, and I listen and have to hold my tongue sometimes because I want her to feel safe to share.
Yeah.
And she'll share things about me. Like, you know, I think when you said this, it hurt my feelings. Like, what if we could just continue to have these conversations with these little human beings so that when they grow older, it's so normal for them to be honest parent and say, hey, I don't like the way that you treated me, or I don't like what you said. And I want
Yes.
that. And sometimes I have to apologize to my kid. There are sometimes I might pop off and then have to come back and say, you know what? I am so sorry. This had nothing to do with you. Mom was having a bad day. You know, we don't often apologize to our kids because we feel like they are kids. They be all right. And it's like, no, they're humans. And I want her to learn how to apologize. And the only way that she's going to see it or know how to do it is by seeing it, right? Is me.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not a game to me. Like, I want to get it right. And when you look at your own past and what you've experienced and your own relationships with parents and family, I just want to change that trajectory. Like, it's got to change. I want this to be a whole new dynamic, and moving forward, she won't ever have to experience some of those things that I have. She'll have better tools than I did. Better tools than my mom did, right? Like, she didn't have the tools.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's that legacy that you're talking about, that you mentioned earlier, you know, equipping these young people, whether it's, you know, the girls in your programs or your very own daughter, with the tools and the strategies and the safe spaces and the accountability and the transparent dialogue, you know, to actually go forward and make decisions confidently, to say when things aren't right. You know, that's just like, that's the dream. That's the vision right there.
Yes, it is. And we all are capable of doing it. It's just about being intentional and just really doing it and being uncomfortable, being okay with being uncomfortable, right?
And sometimes that's the hardest part.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yes. There are times I'm like, I am not going to go in there and apologize. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Like, no, just humble yourself and just do it, because you were absolutely wrong. Like, that self-awareness is what it is. That is so uncomfortable. Becoming aware of who you are is so uncomfortable. You're like, ooh, I am dead wrong. Ooh, I got attitude problems. Ooh, and it's just like, no, you got to deal with it and face it.
Yes. Oh my God. No, you are so spot on. It's like, and that mini human that you have is literally shining the mirror.
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, when did she learn how to roll her neck? I don't know.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it, JJ. Okay, well, I feel like we could definitely talk for like a whole nother hour, but I do see that our time is winding down, and I see that we have at least one question in the chat. Oh, we got a lot of questions in the chat. Okay. Okay, we have a couple questions, or do we have questions?
I see a lot of comments.
Okay, I do see comments, but I'm like, I feel like these questions are not from this interview. Oh no, I see one here. Okay, here we go. I'm like, it's like questions from my side of Instagram story up with a question on it earlier, and that's what people respond to. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my Instagram between not seeing the comments in the chats and questions popping up from my stories. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, but I do see one question from my friend Melanie, who's also here in K-Town. Melanie is asking JJ, what kind of routine and or self-care habits do you have to maintain all of this fabulousness?
Oh, that's so good. That's such a great question. Thank you for that. So self-care is so necessary. It's a priority for me, especially because I do the most all the time. So one thing I do, like, and I just did this last week, I was feeling so down, like just from, I don't even know what it was, but it's just like when you notice it, like I'm having one of those kind of days. I took myself to the zoo by myself during the day. Ooh. And I was like, what do I love? I love giraffes. So I'm gonna spend some time with some giraffes. There's like a cafe that sits right outside of giraffes. You can sit down, eat. And I just looked at them. I was like, it made my whole day, but it changed my energy, right? And when I left here, I felt like I was rejuvenated. And so, you know, one of my friends, we laugh about this all the time, because she said, girl, when I ain't feeling my best, I will take a whole bath in the middle of the day. And I was like, I would try that. But it's like,
me up.
Yeah, you got to be in tune with yourself and like know when you aren't feeling your best or you having one of those blah days, like what is it that's going to put a smile on your face? And so I do that. I'll go walk at the park. I just did that the other day too. Like just take a walk at the park, my favorite Japanese garden. But I know what works for me. You know, maybe I'll go get some ice cream. Maybe I need to celebrate myself because that I think is a part of self-care is celebrating your victories, right? Like, let me go celebrate myself, take myself to a movie or whatever. Like, those things are so important. That's a great question because more people just need to dive into self-care so that they can rejuvenate and get back going.
Yes. Yes, and I think this piece around intentionality that you mentioned earlier is important. It is important to be intentional about our self-love, our self-care, the routines and habits, things that bring us joy when we're not feeling so great. It's so important, JJ. So thank you for answering Melanie's question. Thank you for that question. And we're all like taking notes, JJ. We're ready to go and go have our own version of sitting at the cafe and chilling with the giraffes, you know?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So JJ, the very last question that I'm going to ask you before I let you all, off the hook and go, have this amazing day. Like, what's next for you? What's coming up? What's on the horizon? What can us as your fans and followers keep an eye out for and expect?
Me coming to Cape Town. All right.
Hey!
I mean, honestly, I do not know. And that is what is crazy. I have changed the way that I am living my life because there's always that saying, if you want to make God laugh, show him your plans. And I feel like that's been me for a while where I've been like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And God was like, boom, COVID. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. And it's just like, I'm just seeing day by day. So I don't know. You'll see me traveling more. I know that for sure because I've seen the vision of that. Still empowering women and girls, but I know that it's going to take place in places that I've never been before. And I'll be able to take my daughter alongside me. So I'm super excited about that. I said if I wrote one more book, it would be called Tapped Out on Testimonies because I don't need no more testimonies, okay? Because I'm good. So let's see how this goes. But other than that, we'll all see together.
I love it. Well, JJ, we are all following, we're all watching, we're all ready to keep supporting you and your many different endeavors. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on Nikki Banz Live, for speaking on my show tonight, for engaging us with an amazing hour of your insights and your bars and your life. It's just truly a pleasure to be in community with you. So thank you so much, JJ.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed our time together today. Thank you.
Yes, of course. We're going to make that Cape Town trip happen soon. And if I find myself in H-Town, my parents do live in Houston. So if I find myself in H-Town, then I'm going to be messaging you. We'll hang out in person.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks again. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, JJ. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.